Welcome to English Stories Journey. Listen, relax, and grow your English with every story.
The hall was full of light, cameras, and applause. Leo stood on stage, holding a silver trophy almost bigger than his hands. 16 years old, and already a national hero. His invention, a small genetic scanner that could fix damaged DNA, was called the future of medicine. The minister smiled at him. "Leo Hart," she said proudly, "you are smarter than anyone your age. You represent the next generation of human progress." The crowd cheered. Leo smiled shyly, but his eyes were searching. Maybe for his parents. They weren't there. His father worked late at the Genex Corporation. His mother said she was sick, so he smiled for the cameras instead. Then, as the applause faded, a sound came from the crowd. Quiet, sharp, like a breath cutting through glass. A man in a dark coat was staring at him. His face was pale, his eyes full of something between fear and anger. When Leo stepped off the stage, the man leaned closer and whispered, "You shouldn't even exist." Leo froze. "What did you say?" But the man was already gone, lost in the sea of reporters. That night, Leo couldn't sleep. His award stood on his desk, glowing under the blue light of his computer screen. He opened the school database. He wanted to find the guest list, maybe identify the stranger. But instead, his name led him to a hidden folder, password protected, almost invisible. He hacked it easily. He was, after all, the smartest student in the country. Inside, he found one file, clone_13, property of GeneX. His name was written below, with his date of birth and a barcode. For a long moment, Leo just stared. Then he whispered the words again, slowly, as if tasting poison. Clone number 13. He tried to laugh, but his hands were shaking. It had to be a joke, maybe a project name, a code, a prank from another student? But the folder contained more: medical charts, growth logs, images of embryos with the same DNA code, LH013, his code.
The next morning, Leo skipped school. He took a train out of the city to the edge of the industrial zone, where the old GenX Research Center still stood behind broken fences and restricted area signs. The company had moved to a new headquarters years ago after a cloning scandal that everyone preferred to forget. The building was silent, except for the wind moving through the cracked glass. He found a half-broken door and slipped inside. The air smelled like rust and dust, and something else, something clean and cold, like the memory of chemicals. He moved through the corridors with a flashlight. On one door, faded letters read, Project L13. Leo's heart raced. He pushed the door open. Inside was a long, dark room filled with glass tanks, tall, human-sized cylinders. Most were empty, but still marked with numbers. Subject 1, Subject 2, Subject 12. At the end of the row, the final tank glowed faintly blue. Subject 13, Success. Leo stepped closer. Inside, the glass was cracked. There was no body, only water stains and old tubes. A child's hospital bracelet lay on the floor beneath it. He picked it up. His own name was printed on it. Then, the lights flickered. A low voice came through an intercom hidden somewhere in the ceiling. "Welcome home, Leo." Leo dropped the bracelet. "Who's there?" The voice continued, calm and almost kind. "I see you found the truth. I wondered how long it would take." A figure appeared as a flickering hologram, an older man in a lab coat, with tired eyes and a quiet smile. I am Dr. Arden. I created you. Leo's mouth dried. Created? You mean born? No, the hologram said. You were my 13th experiment, the only one that survived. Leo felt dizzy. That's impossible. I have parents. They raised you, but they didn't make you. I did. The hologram glitched and then changed, showing old security footage. 12 small children in identical hospital rooms, nurses moving from bed to bed. One by one, the monitors went flatline, until only one boy was left breathing. That boy looked exactly like Leo. You were perfect, Dr. Arden's voice said. Stronger, faster, smarter. But I couldn't protect the others. The company wanted weapons, not children. The lights blinked again. Another image appeared on the screen. A photo of a man who looked just like Leo, only older, colder. His eyes had the same color, but none of the warmth. This is the original Leo Hart, the hologram said. He's alive. He works for Gen X now. I suggest you stay away.
2 days later, Leo found himself standing in front of the Gen X headquarters, all steel and mirrors, a tower that reached into the clouds. He waited until nightfall, then used his old ID card to get in. The card still worked. That was the first warning. He took the elevator to the top floor. In the dark office, the older Leo was waiting. He turned slowly, calm and confident, as if he already knew why Clone 13 was there. So, the original said, they finally let you out. Leo stared. You knew about me. Of course I did, said the man. You were made to replace me when I got sick, but I recovered. Gen X decided to keep you as a backup. That's a lie. It's the truth, the original said quietly. You were supposed to be smarter than me, but you're still just a copy. Leo clenched his fists. A copy that feels more alive than you ever did. For a moment, silence. Then the original smiled, cold and empty. Maybe that's the problem. Security guards stormed in. Leo was caught and taken down to the lower levels, the same kind of lab he saw before, only this one was alive with machines and screens. The head scientist gave a simple order. Erase Subject 13. Prepare his body for reuse. They strapped him to a chair, connected cables to his skin. The machines began to hum. But something else woke up inside him, a strange electric pulse, hidden deep in his DNA. Dr. Arden's voice echoed in his memory. If they ever try to destroy you, the system will destroy itself first. The lights went red. Alert! System failure. Containment breach in 60 seconds. Technician screamed. Glass shattered. The original Leo ran into the room, shouting, "Stop it! Shut it down!" Clone 13 broke free. Smoke filled the air. "Come on," he shouted. "We have to get out." But the real Leo grabbed him by the arm, wild-eyed. "No, there can be only one of us." They fought among falling cables and fire. The original was stronger, but the clone was faster, more desperate. In the struggle, the clone pushed him back, too hard. The original stumbled, fell into the flames, and disappeared. The explosion threw Clone 13 against the wall. He barely managed to crawl out through the collapsing hallway. When he stepped outside, the night sky was orange. The Gen X tower was burning. Sirens wailed in the distance. A giant news screen on the nearby building showed breaking news. Gen X reports, Subject 13 terminated successfully.
Clone 13 looked up at it, covered in ash, his reflection glowing beside the words. He whispered, half laughing, half crying, "You built me to survive anything. I guess you were right." He walked away into the crowd, disappearing among ordinary people, breathing, thinking, alive. Not a project, not a copy, just human. And somewhere, deep under the ruins of the lab, a single machine light still blinked. Subject 14. Activation. Pending.
And what would you do if you found out that you have a clone? Write in the comments. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories.